I'm Brie K of thesearethesounds.com, and in today's video, I'm going to give you guys 3 tips for songwriter's block and overcoming it. But first, this is the intro. So I rarely talk about songwriting on this channel, but it seems like every time I survey the people, a couple of people suggest that I do videos about songwriting. And for those of you that don't know, songwriting is, in my opinion, my strongest suit when it comes to making music. I love writing songs. I've been writing songs since I was a wee lass. So anyway, let's just get into it. Tip number 1, which is my favorite one, is write vicariously. Vicarious basically means to put yourself in somebody else's shoes or position. So think about people in your life that have, interesting stories or interesting perspectives or have found themselves in some interesting situations, and write as if that were you. As many of you know, I am part of a duo with my cousin slash twin slash best friend Kasairi, and I often write songs from her perspective because she just has a much more interesting life than I do. And when I do that, I find myself writing things that I just wouldn't normally write for myself if I were just talking purely from my own experience. It's okay to use somebody else's experience unless your brand is kind of built on you being like completely real and only talking about things from your perspective. But if you're a songwriter and you're just stuck and you don't know what to write, think about somebody in your life who has an interesting life and write about theirs. Tip number 2 is going to be listen to music. I know that sounds so like, what? But trust me, it works. So you can either listen to new music that you've never heard before, because for me personally, when I listen to new things or I'm just introduced to new things, it just triggers kind of different creative responses in my brain. So if I listen to new music and it's topics that I've never heard, sounds that I've never heard, sometimes it just sparks, there might just be a phrase or a sound or a word that can spark a whole nother sidetracked concept for myself that I can write a song about. You can also go back and revisit old music of some of your favorite songs that just have lyrics that like really speak to you. Go back and revisit those songs and ask yourself, okay, so what happened next? After this song, then what? And just keep asking yourself that. Then what happened? Okay, then what happened? Or write from the other side of that perspective. If the person in the song is speaking to somebody about a situation, write it from that somebody that they were speaking to. There's just so many ways that you can go about writing from other songs. Obviously, don't steal their song. So when I'm stuck on trying to write something, I often listen to different music and just go and try to find a perspective in there that is one that I can write a full song about. And that's it. Tip number 3. I feel like this is kind of a common tip, but at the same time kind of not. So I'm gonna go ahead and share it. It is write somewhere different. Basically, go somewhere outside of your little studio or your room or wherever it is that you normally write. Just go somewhere different. Even if that's literally like sitting in the living room or sitting in the kitchen instead. But something that I often like to do is go for walks and write as I'm walking, because one, you kill 2 birds with 1 stone because your girl's trying to lose some weight, but also you get a song. You can get a whole song, a whole verse, 2 verses, possibly a chorus as you walk. If that's something that is doable for you, I highly suggest it. I find that writing songs when I'm waiting to do something else is actually really effective. So like if I take my car to the car wash and I'm waiting for it to finish, I can write something there. There's something about being somewhere different, and also sometimes having time constraints that just kind of brings more ideas to me and brings more ideas out of me to form a song. So if you're stuck on maybe a hook, a verse, whatever it may be, just go somewhere different, even if it's to a coffee shop, even if it's to the parking lot of the grocery store. Just try somewhere different and see what happens. See if that triggers anything in your mind. This last thing is something that's not really a tip, but just something that I kind of want more songwriters to consider, more people who want to write songs to consider, is it really writer's block, or are you just being lazy? Because if you only sat down for like 10 minutes and you're like, nothing's coming to me, that's not writer's block. That's not writer's block. Sometimes that's just laziness. And that's something that you have to be honest with yourself about. I'm not judging anybody, I'm not accusing anybody, but just sometimes you just gotta take a little bit more time, try a little bit more harder to flesh those ideas out. And that is pretty much it for this video. Those are 3 songwriters tips for songwriters who have songwriter's block I don't know why I'm saying songwriter so much. If you made it this far into this video, it's probably safe to say that you kind of will like it, so please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If this is like your third or fourth video watching on my channel, just go ahead and subscribe. I mean, you may as well. You're already here, you may as well. And please leave a comment giving any of your tips that you have for when you have songwriter's block. And let me know if you want more songwriters videos. I will definitely share what I know and talk more about songwriting because I love songwriting. All right, I think that is everything. Okay, peace out.